guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while for me. I haven't recorded in anything in the last 3 weeks. We were on a big pond, and man, it feels like all I've done recently is ponds. So I was like, you know what, I'm just not even gonna record anything. I'm just gonna work. So here, imagine that, another pond. We have 2 sand filters. So this is a separate pond. There's a dam in the middle, and that's a separate pond over there. They both have outlet structures. This has 2 separate outlets, and it will have a sand filter in that pond and a sand filter in this pond. The problem we're running into out here is mud. There's nowhere to work. There's nowhere to bury anything. So we're gonna have to haul this mud off. Okay guys, so we're starting to load this mud out of this pond now. I ended up loading some yesterday. I loaded about 15 loads, and I didn't have time to film because after the second, well, I guess it was the 4th load, he got stuck behind me. So this whole power line is basically, they dug borrow pits and put topsoil in it and then capped back over it with good dirt. So the truck got stuck, which no big deal. I went and got a chain out of my truck, and we got a chain out of my truck, come around the front of them, hooked it up with the track hoe. I was like, I'll pull him out. No big deal. He wasn't even stuck that bad. Well, I don't know what happened. I was pulling on him, and the tow hook that we were pulling on is connected to the frame, like a good tow hook should be, and it broke not the frame rail, but the front, where the tow hook was a bracket that connected the front cross member to the frame rail. It sheared. I took some videos on my cell phone yesterday, just a quick video. I'll show you, I'll put in here and show you what it looked like. But that was it, like 9 o'clock yesterday morning. And so in between that, so the truck was sitting about where I'm at, maybe a little further back. So it blocked off. There was no way I could load the other trucks with the excavator because it, you know, had blocked my way to get to the mud. So while that truck was sitting there broken, waiting on a tow truck to come get it, I had used the Bobcat to load mud, and it was just a nightmare trying to drive up the steep slope with a bucket of mud. Dang, can't reach that far. It was a nightmare day yesterday. We didn't end up, the tow truck came, and I helped the guy a little bit. We had to take the hood off the truck, take the bumper off the truck, chain the axle up, because it was, in theory, on one side just hanging there. So I had to chain it up, and I think it was like 3 o'clock before the tow truck left with the dump truck. So the whole time the dump truck was sitting in the way, and then after that we had the tow truck, was sitting in the way. It's just, like I say, it's just a nightmare. I'm sorry for the sun on the windshield, but it was a catastrophe, dude. Like I've pulled a lot of dump trucks out, and I have never ever had that happen. Like, never even a thought. The dump truck wasn't overloaded. It wasn't even, I should have took a video of it stuck. It wasn't even stuck that bad. Like, it was on dry dirt, but the ground underneath the dry dirt was a bar pit, so it was soft. You know, it wasn't like he was in the sloppy mud or anything of that nature. It just, I don't know, it's just bad metal. And the leaf springs broke on the truck, which they were already broke. One of them was. So it was just a terrible combination of stuff. And then, like I say, and after that I was like, you know, I could have filmed it, but I thought about filming pulling the truck out. I thought about grabbing my camera because I had to go to my pickup truck to get the chain. I should have, but I don't know. You know, I was just trying to get the dude out of here, and then that happened. So now, because the ground is soft where I'm at, instead of being able to sit right here and load, which is what I was doing yesterday, you know, I could throw the mud right here and then scoop it up off the slope and load. So now this mud won't really stay up on the slope, so I dug a little hole in the side of the slope and built a berm so I can stack up a couple loads of mud in there. And then load out. So instead of touching it twice, you know, to throw it from the bottom up on the slope and then load it, I gotta touch it 3 times. I gotta throw it on the bottom, from the bottom up on the slope, then get up here on the slope and throw it in this hole I dug. So it's just one more step. It's not the end of the world. I mean, you know, it's not like we're on a mass dirt crew where we have to, efficiency is, we have to be so efficient. But, you know, I try to be. I don't like dealing with this crap any more than I have to. So that's just a little story time with Hayden this morning. I should have videoed it. I'm an idiot. It's what I do. I make videos, and I had a perfect opportunity to video something of a truck getting stuck that probably would have done decent views maybe, but I didn't because I'm a moron. So I'm down here now throwing this stuff up the slope. I would try to get you an outside perspective, but I'm not getting in the mud first thing in the morning, so if I can help it. Sometimes I can, but I don't really feel like tromping through the mud. So yeah, it's pretty much my routine for the day. I'm not gonna video just a whole lot today because it's the same thing over and over. So, you know, it'd be kind of boring, but I'll pick you guys back up whenever, you know, in between we do something different. I'll show you a different year or something. We still got a decent amount of mud, but I think we're planning on hauling 30 loads, like 30 to 40 loads out is all that's budgeted for, and then we'll bury the rest somewhere on site, but it was just too much. All right, today what we're working on is grading this pond This end, so the sand filter goes from here in front of the box, the toe of this slope, it's this whole area, to say the tip of my finger right there. And the sand filter is a foot lower than the rest of the pond. Well, the way it's graded right now, it's flat all the way around there, and there's actually they didn't have enough dirt to fill in the other end, so it's actually holding water on the far side. So what I'm going to do now is set the laser up, get my elevation, get down here and start cutting this with the excavator because it's pretty rocky. Start cutting this down, throwing back that way, and whatever we don't need to build up that end, we're probably just going to throw it up on top of the power line right away and blade it down. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's get started. working on is Grant has cut that sand filter area. I cut most of it, and then he's kind of finishing it. And then he's gonna start, it's a foot lower where he's at than this. I mean, that's still 200 feet probably that it's gonna have to go. So it's a 0.5% of fall from here to there, which is not much. That's almost flat. So what he's working on now is getting the fall from there to here, and we're gonna fill this in, get rid of this mud. I'm gonna just set you on a time lapse, and I'm gonna swipe all this mud to the middle, try to mix this water in with some of the mud. I mean, you can't pump it, that's not enough water to pump. So just gonna swipe all this mud around and pile it up, and then I'm gonna try right here where the excavator's sitting. I think there's a borrow pit right there, but I think right here we're good, so I'm gonna dig one. Alrighty guys, so back over here Monday morning. They staked these ponds last Thursday, I think, and then we got rain one day, so that ruined the rest of the week. But as you can see, here's two bottom stakes in this turn. That is our sand filter, so the bottom of the pond that way is all sand filter. Back around to the structure there, this is all pond here. So we need to cut this toe back to these stakes and then slope up from there, and this will be the front of our dam. So I'm gonna take that dozer and come in through here and clip all this off. You can kind of see it's just a straight line from there to here, and then somehow we got way off over here, which we didn't. I mean, we didn't originally build these ponds, but we're on right there. But we need to cut. This is the top of our dam. That's the top, and those are the toes right there. So these two stakes. So we got a lot of cut in through here. I'll just cut that up, put it on top here, and slope it back down here at the bottom. So I'm gonna set you right here and let y'all watch me cut this thing. Alright guys, so I've got all this cut back now with the excavator, just because that dozer don't have hardly any track pads on it, so you really can't cut anything on a slope. It just wants to slide down the hill. It really won't push. So what I'm going to do now, I've got a lot of excess dirt. I thought we'd be able to waste it on the backside, but we can't. So what I'm going to do now is push all this on top of the dam down here and push whatever I clean up off of this slope down here as well. We'll take the excavator, throw it on top of the hill, spread it out up there. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. Hey guys, I hope y'all enjoyed that video. I don't really have anything I want to talk about today in particular. I've been thinking about it all day. I mean, for the last few days, honestly, and there's just nothing really that I have on my heart. But I did read these verses, and I thought it was pretty good. So I'm just going to read these few verses, and I'll let y'all get out of here. So it's Psalm 34, verses 17 through 22. It says, "When the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. He keeps all his bones, not one of them is broken. Affliction will slay the wicked, and those who hate the righteous will be condemned. The Lord redeems the life of his servants. None of those who take refuge in him will be condemned." So there you go, just a short little 5 verses, I guess. I just thought those would be some good verses, a few good verses for, anybody that's struggling and don't really know where to turn. You can always turn to Jesus. He will never turn his back on you. So thank you guys. If you need anything, call me, text me if you know me, send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. Thank you guys. I really appreciate y'all watching this. God bless you. Jesus loves you, and I do too. Let's change the earth.